Dallas Cowboys. Star CeeDee Lamb isn't worried about sharing the spotlight with George Pickens, who has emerged as a key playmaker during Lamb's multi-week absence with an ankle injury. Lamb hasn't just watched Pickens shine. He's been one of his loudest cheerleaders. Throughout Pickens' breakout stretch, Lamb has celebrated every big play and kept his energy high from the sideline while recovering from injury. Now that he's back, Lamb made it clear he wants their partnership to continue well beyond this season. I feel like my answer is pretty obvious. I think I made that clear when I first came in. There is no ego here, Lamb said. I hope he gets everything that he deserves here, and we just continue to do what we do. Tap to unfold newspaper. Dak Prescott said he will definitely put a bug in Jerry Jones' ear that the #Cowboys should extend George Pickens. The All-Pro QB said he definitely will. CeeDee Lamb, the All-Pro WR returning from injury, also made his feelings known. I feel like through 6 games, Pickens has 32 catches for 525 yards and 6 touchdowns, already a career high for the former second-round pick. Despite Lamb's 3-game absence, the Cowboys have the most productive offense in the league, averaging 387.5 yards and 29.7 points per game. I gave y'all a warning. I was like, you've got 2 ones. I don't think everybody really believed me until one of us went down and we saw, Lamb said. It's kind of like a prove me right and prove everybody else wrong about who he is, his humility, and the presence he brings to this team and to this game. He's a dominant receiver. We all know that. Cowboys QB Dak Prescott also backs George Pickens. Lamb is not the only Cowboys star going to bat for Pickens. Quarterback Dak Prescott has also praised Pickens and plans to talk to Jerry Jones about the importance of bringing him back. I've been a little busy, but I will, Prescott said. When I run into him in that time of privacy, I'll make sure. Pickens has said he's not focused on the future and wants to help the Cowboys win games. But sticking around in Dallas for the foreseeable future is something he can get behind. I wouldn't mind it, Pickens said. The guys in the locker room are super cool, the energy's great, but like I said, I always want to showcase my talents. The decision falls on Jones and the front office to make a deal work. And if Pickens continues producing at an elite level, it won't be easy. We'll weigh that, Jones said when asked about extending Pickens. We knew full well that if things really went like we want them to go, that certainly we need to think about having some room available if we're going to pay a second receiver at that level. Cowboys WR CeeDee Lamb ready to roll versus Commanders. Lamb said he could have returned last week against the Carolina Panthers, but decided to play it safe and wait another week. He's not expected to be on any kind of pitch count against the Commanders. I feel like that's why we took an extra week off, Lamb said. Just to make sure I had that comfort, just to make sure that I had that same explosiveness, just to make sure that I had that same stability. Lamb, who had 16 catches for 222 yards through 2 games, is confident he can step in and make a difference immediately. I don't think it'll be long at all, Lamb said. I feel like I'm out there moving around, running around, being me, happy as can be. Just believing in my ankle, I feel like it's back to where I needed it to be. The Cowboys are a 1.5-point underdog at home against the Commanders, per ESPN BET. The Dallas Cowboys understood entering the season that they'd have an opportunity to help George Pickens' career. All Pickens has done throughout the first few weeks in a Cowboys jersey is perform at the highest level, proving that not only is he elite. However, he's good enough to be a number 1 wide receiver on a contending team. Pickens has 32 receptions for 525 yards, good for 16.4 yards per reception. He already has 6 touchdowns, scoring a touchdown in every game outside of Week 1 against the Philadelphia Eagles. Unfortunately, and something the Cowboys have dealt with for too long, the question about how much they're willing to pay him continues to arise. That's why some believe that it might be better to move on from him now, including Cody Warren of Inside the Star, who thinks that the Cowboys could get a first-round pick. But with multiple extensions looming and holes on defense that can't be ignored, the front office could face a tough business decision before the trade deadline. Should Dallas cash in on Pickens while his value is at its peak? His reasoning for the Cowboys getting a first-round pick is due to teams being desperate at the moment. He mentioned the Kansas City Chiefs and others as potential suitors. That's exactly where Pickens' market could land. If a team agrees to terms on a long-term deal prior to the trade, the Cowboys could reasonably expect a first-round pick in return, or, at minimum, a strong day two package. If Dallas played the market right, especially with contenders like Kansas City, Buffalo, or Baltimore needing receiver help, they could walk away with draft flexibility that reshapes their future, he wrote. Does George Pickens want to stay with the Cowboys? The contract question will continue for the Dallas Cowboys and Pickens, who stated on Wednesday that he'd love to be with the organization if they give him the money. He seems to have a ton of love for the Cowboys so far, which is a positive considering some questioned whether he'd be a questionable teammate like he was with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I wouldn't mind it, Pickens said Wednesday, per ESPN. The guys in the locker room are super cool. The energy is great. But, like I've said, I always want to showcase my talents, most definitely. Will Jerry Jones decide to pay George Pickens? Jerry Jones ultimately has the final say in decisions for the Dallas Cowboys. After deciding not to pay Micah Parsons, paying another wide receiver might not be something that Jones wants to do. It's possible that the two sides can work out a deal that makes sense for everyone involved, but it's also important to note that Jones historically lets these things play out. Regardless, he said that Pickens is doing everything the Cowboys can ask for, and if that's really the case, there should be a dollar amount that comes with it. In every aspect of it, he's doing more than we did expect or that we could have expected, Jones said. And what's really special is he's a real plus to have around the team. He's a real plus around his teammates. He's a great plus around those coaches, and the coaches really think highly of him. So he's not only doing it on the field, he's doing it as part of the team concept, and that's very important and, in his particular case, should be noted. Former Dallas Cowboys linebacker Eric Kendricks is surprisingly a free agent 7 weeks into the 2025 season. Earlier this month, the veteran linebacker received interest from the Baltimore Ravens to join their practice squad after going through a workout for the franchise. However, the ex-Cowboy reportedly declined the Ravens' practice squad offer, which is not that shocking, as Kendricks likely believes he can be on a team's 53-man roster. Dallas fans would love to see the 33-year-old linebacker return to the team as Jack Sanborn, who came over from Chicago in free agency with Matt Eberflus, has been a massive disappointment. That said, 5 days ago, Kendricks posted a picture on Instagram of himself with workout gear and a Cowboys helmet, hat-tipped Jimmy J's hair/Twitter. Coincidentally, second-year defender Marshawn Kneeland was one of the people who liked said image. Eric Kendricks teased his idea of potentially returning to play for Cowboys. When Cowboys fans saw this picture on social media, they were immediately open to Kendricks returning to Dallas despite his age. Based on what they've seen from Kenneth Murray and Jack Sanborn, the fan base believes Kendricks would be the team's best linebacker, which would be a strong indictment of the current situation. Last season in Dallas, the veteran linebacker played well under the direction of then-defensive coordinator Mike Zimmer. Kendricks was a tackling machine, racking up 138 stops, second most of his career, while also adding 4 tackles for loss, 3 QB hits, 3 pass deflections, 3 forced fumbles, and 2 interceptions. Kendricks wasn't the best in pass coverage, possessing a 72.2 completion percentage allowed on targets, a 101.0 pass rating allowed when targeted, and giving up 2 TDs. However, he was solid against the run and made some noise as a pass rusher, 78.5 grade, per Pro Football Focus. Cowboys fans were surprised that the team didn't re-sign Kendricks in the offseason and opted to go with Murray and Sanborn. However, the veteran linebacker underwent off-season shoulder surgery, which could have played a role in Dallas' decision at LB. That said, fans are ready for a change as they're tired of seeing Murray and Sanborn get beaten every week. Sanborn has an 88.9 completion percentage allowed on targets and a 111.3 pass rating allowed when targeted. Meanwhile, Murray has been equally as bad in pass coverage, allowing 262 receiving yards, a 115.8 pass rating, and 1 receiving touchdown. Kendricks might not solve Dallas' defensive issues as a whole, which falls on the shoulders of Eberflus. However, if the Cowboys are looking for a quick fix at linebacker, they have the perfect option available for the taking.